In 1963, a young macaque, whatever, monkey was observed venturing into a hot spring to retrieve food from which it had fallen in. Cool. Soon, other macaques began to enter the spring, and over a few years, the behavior was adopted by the entire troop. Okay, cool. Prior to 1963, no macaques had ever been observed in a hot spring. Okay, and then by 1990, the troopers regularly spending their time during the winters. Thus, these macaques are able to adopt and pass on new patterns of social behavior and are not complete captives of their genetic heritage. Okay. So which of the following is assumption required by the argument above? Okay, so the last sentence is the conclusion, so that they're able to adopt and pass on new patterns of social behavior, and they're not complete captives of their genetic heritage. Why? Because they picked up on new social behaviors in 1960 onward, and then before 1960, this was not something they had done before.
Done before or been observed?
Oh,
I feel like that is.
that's a good one. Been observed. Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with A.
Okay. Mutations in the genetic heritage of a certain variety of macaques, can occur over a time span as short as a few years or decades. Okay. I don't mutations in their genetic heritage. Okay.
Are we talking?
I don't think it's a mutation. That's a problem. It's not a mutation. It's just they're adapting a new social behavior.
That doesn't have anything to do with mutations.
Yeah.
Excellent.
New patterns of behavior that emerge in macaque populations over the course of a few years or decades are not necessarily genetically predetermined. Okay, maybe. So we're talking about this troop, but then they say populations, which is a lot. So new patterns.
Would you negate B?
That's what I'm looking at. New patterns of behavior that emerge in the populations over the course of a few years or decades are genetically predetermined.
Yes.
Okay, so if they are genetically predetermined, then that kind of hurts the last part that says, oh, they're not complete captives of their genetic heritage because it's predetermined. So I would hold B.
I like B too. And we're saying that it's like a social behavior. It has nothing to do with genetics. All right.
Yeah.
Go on to C.
Only when behaviors become typical among an animal population can we conclude that genetic alteration has occurred. Okay, no, it's not genetic alteration. It's a social behavior pattern change. And also animal population is too broad in our sense.
Yeah. And only.
Yeah.
Wrong too.
There's a lot of wrongness. The social behaviors of the macaques are completely independent of their genetic heritage. Okay, so I guess they're not completely independent of their genetic heritage. Okay, I don't think that matters.
No,
like the social behaviors.
And this is saying like all social behaviors.
Yeah, and it's like it's too general.
Genetic heritage, like they don't have to be completely independent.
Yeah. The macaques new pattern.
Constitution says not complete captives of their genetic.
Yeah.
We're saying that they're not like overlap. We're just saying like it's not just genetic heritage.
That's driving this. Yeah. And then their new pattern of behavior will persist over center. Okay, like that's a broad jump. Like we don't know that. And also too, that doesn't help us. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I like B.
Me too. Great job.
Especially when I can negate it correctly. I like B a lot.